हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मम्मी, हरे कृष्णा। हाँ, ठीक है, शुरू करो था। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind association. Let's get started with our auspicious invocation prayers, Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्रतुलसीमकरन्दवायुः अन्तर्गतस्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्वोः। नेहयत्कर्मधर्माय न विरागाय कल्पते न तीर्थपदसेवायै जीवन्नपि मृतो हि सः। प्रसङ्गमजरं पाशम् आत्मनः कवयो विदु, स एव साधुषु कृतो मोक्षद्वारम् अपावृतम्। तितिक्षव कारुणिका सुहृदः सर्वदेहिनाम्, अजातशत्रवः शान्ताः साधवः साधुभूषणाः। सतां प्रसङ्गान् मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्ति हृत्कर्णरसायना कथा। तज्जोषणादाशभवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति। हासं हरेरवनताखिललोकतीव्र शोकाश्रुसागरविशोषणमत्युदारम्। सम्मोहनाय रचितं निजमाययास्य भ्रूमण्डलं मुनिकृते मकरध्वजस्य। मद्गुणश्रुतिमात्रेण मयि सर्वगुहाशये मनोगतिरविच्छिन्ना यथा गङ्गाम्भसोऽम्बुदौ। लक्षणं भक्तियोगस्य निर्गुणस्य युदाहृतम् अहैतुक्यव्यवहिता या भक्ति पुरुषोत्तमे। सालोक्यसारष्टिसामीप्य सारूप्यैकत्वमप्युत दीयमानं न गृह्णन्ति विना मत्सेवनं जनाः। यन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनाद्यत्प्रवणाद्यत्स्मरणादपि क्वचित् श्वादोऽपि सद्यः सवनाय कल्पते कुतः पुनस्ते भगवन्नुदर्शनात्। अहो बतश्व पचतो गरीयान् यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यं। ते पुस्तपस्ते जुहुः सस्नुरार्या ब्रह्मानुचुर्नाम गृह्णन्ति ये ते। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our study of Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, entitled Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, Text 33. Again, this is Srimad Bhagavatam 3.32.33. Bhagwan Shri Kapila is speaking to his beloved mother, Srimati Devahuti Devi. यथेन्द्रियैः पृथग्द्वारैरर्थो बहु गुणाश्रयः एको नानेयते तद्वद् भगवान् शास्त्रवर्त्मभिः. Translations and purports by our beloved, revered founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. Very important Siddhanta Bhagavan Shri Kapil Dev is teaching us that the Supreme God is only one, but the Supreme God is perceived in different ways by different people because different people have different mentalities. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, it appears that by following the path of Jnana Yoga or empiric philosophical speculation, one reaches the impersonal Brahman. Whereas by executing devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, in Krishna consciousness, one enriches his faith and devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan. But it is stated here that both Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga are meant for reaching the same destination, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Which means, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, if followed properly, should lead to the same goal, Krishna. Further down in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, he gives an example. He gives the example of a hill. Hill appears cloudy from a distance because from a distance you see that it is cloudy. Somewhere it appears green because of the trees. But actually, those are all different perceptions. The hill is not a cloud and the hill is not tree. But the hill can be covered by clouds. Hill is filled with trees. So it just depends on our perception. Another example Srila Prabhupada gives is milk. Now please listen carefully. When we see milk, we see that it is a white liquid. When we taste it, we drink it, it appears very nice, palatable, fatty, sweet, nice taste. When we touch milk, it appears very cold. If it is from the refrigerator, it appears cold. If it has just been boiled, you touch milk, you will get chatka. You will feel very hot. Now, we can smell milk and it appears to have a nice aroma. Now, when milk is boiling, we can hear it. Or if milk is coming from the udders of the cow, somebody is milking, it's falling in the bucket. Psst, 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 psst. It's making sound. Now, it is the same milk, but the ears are perceiving it as when it is boiling, psst, 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 when it is coming from the udders of the cows. That same milk is appearing white, that same milk is tasting sweet, that same milk has a certain smell. It's the same milk, but the different senses perceive the milk differently. You see, perceiving milk with different senses. We say that it is white, it tastes delicious, it has a nice aroma, it has a certain sound, but actually it's all milk. There are different attributes of milk, but different senses are able to grasp only certain attributes. Similarly, certain practitioners of certain paths, certain upasaks of different paths will perceive the same one absolute truth in different ways. Someone worshipping God as the Great One will perceive the grandeur of Bhagwan. Someone approaching God as the permanent, eternal, bright light, Brahmajyoti, eternal existence. They will understand the Supreme Absolute Truth as Brahman. Someone who is in Sakhyarati will experience Krishna as the best friend. Someone in Vatsalyarati will experience Krishna as the best son. Someone in Madhurarati will experience Krishna as the best lover. Someone in Dasarati will experience Krishna as the best master. So it's the same Bhagwan being perceived differently by different upasaks, different practitioners of spiritual path. But Srila Prabhupada says Bhakti Yoga is the best because in Bhakti Yoga you can directly perceive Krishna face to face and have a relationship with him. In the last section of this purport, Srila Prabhupada says, as the mind is the center of all the activities of the senses, Indriyanam Mana Chasmi, the mind is the king of all the senses. Krishna is called the master of all the senses, Rishikesh. The process is to fix the mind on Krishna. Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindayo. as Ambarish Maharaj did. Bhakti is the basic principle of all processes. Without bhakti, neither Jnana Yoga nor Dhyan Yoga, which is Ashtanga Yoga, can be successful. And unless one approaches Krishna, the principles of self realization have no ultimate destination. Which means bhakti completes the other processes of spiritual development. Bhakti is the direct process. Directly approach Krishna. Other processes will attain their perfection if bhakti is included. Otherwise, no. Texts 34, 35, and 36. Kriyaya kratubhir danais tapah swadhyaya marshanaih atmendriya jayenapi sannyasena cha karmanam yogena vividhangena bhakti yogena chaivahi धर्मेणो भय चिह्नेन यह प्रवृत्ति निवृत्तिमान आत्मा तत्वावबोधेन वैराग्येण दृढ़ेन च ईयते भगवान एभिः सगुणो निर्गुण स्वदृक्. Translation: Bhagavan Shri Kapil Dev is saying, by performing fruitive activities and sacrifices, by distributing charity, by performing austerities, by studying various literatures, by conducting philosophical research, by controlling the mind, by subduing the senses, by accepting the renounced order of life, and by performing the prescribed duties of one's social order, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, by performing the different divisions of yoga practice, Ashtanga Yoga, by performing devotional service, Bhakti, and by exhibiting the process of devotional service containing the symptoms of both attachment and detachment, Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg, by understanding the science of self-realization and by developing a strong sense of detachment. One who is expert in understanding the different processes of self-realization realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is represented in the material world as well as in transcendence. So by performing all these different activities, the purpose is that we want to realize Krishna. We want to understand Krishna. We want to come closer to Krishna. We want to please Krishna. That is the purpose of all these different practices and methods. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, as it is stated in the previous verse, one has to follow the principles of the scriptures. Tasmad Shastram Pramanamte, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says. There are different prescribed duties for persons in different social and spiritual orders. What are the social orders? Raise your hand if you know. What are the social orders? Yes, Janani Mataji, what are the social orders?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra.
Yes, very good. Occupational duties are social. Now, Shama Kishori Mataji, what are the spiritual divisions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas.
Yes, very good. These are the spiritual divisions. Social divisions, spiritual divisions. Total 8. So, the purpose of Varnashram is to please Krishna. What is the verse? Atha. Yes, Satyavadaji.
अतपम विर्द्विजश्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभागश
Swanushtitasya dharmasya
संसिद्धि हरितोषम.
samsiddhir haritoshan. Very good. All these different activities, last sentence of the first paragraph of the purport, all these different activities are prescribed for different persons so that they may be elevated to the platform of self-realization and from there to Krishna consciousness, devotional service. So because people have different mentalities, they have different prarabdha, they have different conditionings, so many different processes are there. But the purpose of all of them ultimately is to bring us closer to Krishna. And we come closer to Krishna to the degree we please Krishna. Please remember this sentence. We come closer to Krishna to the degree we please Krishna. Text 37. प्रावोचं भक्तियोगस्य स्वरूपं ते चतुर्विधं कालस्य चाव्यक्तगतेर्योऽन्तर्धावति जन्तुषु. Shri Kapildev Bhagwan is saying, My dear mother Devahuti Devi, I have explained to you the process of devotional service and its identity in 4 different social divisions. I have explained to you as well how eternal time is chasing the living entities, although it is imperceptible to them. Time is so imperceptible to us, my dear friends. Only when we are looking at a clock, we are conscious of time. Otherwise, time is having an effect on us. Every moment we are coming closer to death. Every moment. And none of us knows how much time we have left. So time is imperceptible, but we are all under the influence of time. Not one moment are we outside the domain of time, outside the control of time. So we should remember this, and we should try our best not to waste time, try our best to utilize our time, try our best to always be busy, always do something constructive, always do something constructive. We have to ask ourselves, am I doing something constructive right now? Am I doing something for my ultimate welfare right now? If we are just lying down and just browsing or doing something that is not productive, just languishing, what mode of material nature are we in? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Yes, Vanit Prabhu.
Ignorance, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very good, excellent. Ignorance, tamogun. We're in tamogun, laziness, lethargy. What is browsing? You're just passive and you're just watching what other people are doing. You're not doing anything. That is mode of ignorance. As we say, if you're still talking of what you did yesterday, you haven't done much today. And if you're watching others do things, that's such an utter waste of time. You should be doing something. Chant, read, develop yourself, do something constructive. Finish chores in the house while hearing Harikatha, while hearing Kirtan. Simple act, laundry, folding the laundry, ironing clothes, emptying the dryer, putting clothes. We can all just keep a lecture on or some Kirtan on. As Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaj says, keep the transcendental sound vibration going. And you do yours. दुनिया के काम करते रहो, हरि नाम रटते रहो. That is our method. So time is imperceptible. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport to text 37, the process of Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the main river flowing towards the sea of Krishna. Hari Bol. Bhakti is the river flowing towards Krishna, main river. And all other processes are like the tributaries, small tributaries. And Ganga ji has so many tributaries. If you go to Navadvip, it's like this, so many tributaries. But there is a main Ganga that goes to the ocean. So Bhakti is the main path, the big highway. And others are small internal roads. Ultimately, they will merge into the interstate highway. Text 38. Jivasya samsritir bahavir avidya karma nirmitaha yas anga pravishannatma naveda gatimatmanaha. There are varieties of material existence for the living entity according to the work he performs in ignorance or forgetfulness of his real identity. Bhagwan Shri Kapil Dev is saying that we get many different bodies, material bodies, based on the karma that we have done in forgetfulness of our real identity. If we perform something in remembrance of our real identity, then what is that activity called? Raise your hand. Yes. Shama Kishori Mataji, what do you call activities that we perform in knowledge of our Swarup?
Bhakti.
Yes. Or akarma.
Okay.
But activities that we perform, correct, you're right. Bhakti or akarma. Activities that we perform in forgetfulness of our Swarup, in forgetfulness of our real identity. Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nityadas. Those activities are called karma. Activities we perform in forgetfulness of our Swarup, karma. Activities we perform with knowledge of our Swarup, akarma. Karma will produce the next material body. Good material body or bad material body. Activities performed in forgetfulness of our Swarup, in forgetfulness of Krishna, will be the cause of next material body. And activities performed according to our Swarup, according to our relationship with Krishna, those activities will produce our spiritual body, will help us attain our Swarup, our spiritual body. My dear mother, I am reading the translation of verse 38, second sentence. My dear mother, if anyone enters into that forgetfulness, what forgetfulness of our connection with Krishna, our relationship with Krishna? My dear mother, if anyone enters into that forgetfulness, he is unable to understand where his movements will end because we will be bewildered. We will be just thrown here and there by material laws. Karana guna sangasya, karanam guna sangasya sadasadyoni janmasu. Purport. Once one enters into the continuation of material existence, it is very difficult to get out. Daiviyesha gunamayi mama maya durattaya. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. Iha samsare bahu dustare. Kripaya pare pahi murare. Only Krishna can save us then. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes himself or sends his bona fide representative and leaves behind scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, so that the living entities hovering in darkness of nescience may take advantage of the instructions, the saintly persons, and the spiritual masters, and thus be freed. How many facilities Krishna is giving all of us? Unless living entity receives the mercy of saintly persons, the spiritual master or Krishna, it is not possible for him to get out of the darkness of material existence. By his own endeavor, it is not possible. We need Mahat Sevam Dvaram Ahur Vimukta. Prasangam Ajaram Pasham Atmana Kavayo Vidu Sa Eva Sadhushu Krito Moksha Dvaram Apavrita. Attachment is the cause of bondage in this world. Prasangam ajaram pasham. It is pash. It ties us down. But that same attachment, sa eva, sadhu shukrito. If that same attachment is transferred to a sadhu, moksha dvaram. Haribol. Text 39. Naetad khalayo padishen navinitaya karhichit न स्तब्धाय न भिन्नाय नैव धर्मध्वजाय च. Lord Kapil Dev says, this instruction is not meant for the envious, for the agnostics. Agnostics are persons who are not sure whether Bhagwan exists or not. They are not atheists. Atheist means he is convinced there is no God. Agnostic means I don't know whether God exists or not. So these instructions are not for the envious, the villainous people, khala, khalaiks, not for agnostics, those who say, I don't know whether God exists or not. It is not for persons who are unclean in their behavior. Nor is it for hypocrites. Dharma dhvaja. Hypocrites. They show that they are very dharmic, but they are not. Dharma dhvaja. Or persons who are proud of material possessions. Stabdhaya. Proud people. Bhinnaya means those who don't have proper behavior, misbehave. They misbehave. These instructions of Bhagavan Kapil Dev about bhakti are not for such people who are envious, who are agnostics, who are atheistic, who have unclean behavior, who are hypocrites, who are very proud of their material possessions. Text 40. Na lolupayo padishen, na griharudha chetase, na bhaktaya chame jatu, namad bhakta dvishamapi. Ah, very beautiful. Bhagwan Sri Kapil Dev is saying, these divine instructions of mine are not to be given to persons who are too greedy, lolupaya, too greedy, those who are too attached to family life. Griha arudha chetase, those who are grihavedis, too attached to family life. These instructions should not be given to them. Nor should these instructions of bhakti be given to persons who are non-devotees, abhakta, and who are envious of the devotees, bhakta dvisham, or they are envious of me, they are envious of Bhagwan. Shri Kapil Dev is saying. So these instructions, confidential instructions, should not be given to those who are greedy for material things, too attached to family life, those who are non-devotees, those who are envious of devotees, those who are envious of Bhagwan. So then, who should we give this instruction? In Kali Yuga, everybody is like this. Hare Krishna. I am sure Srila Prabhupada will explain. Purport. Persons who are always planning to do harm to other living entities are not eligible to understand Krishna consciousness and cannot enter into the realm of transcendental loving service to the Lord. Matirna Krishne parata svatova mitobhi padayet griha vratanam adanta gobhir. Those who are adanta gobhir and griha vrat, those who are attached to material things, household things, and those who are adanta go, their senses are completely unrestrained, uncontrolled, like hippies. जो मना है करो, जो करना है करो, जो खाना है खाओ, जब सोना है सो, जब उठना है उठो. They cannot become Krishna conscious. They cannot enter into the realm of transcendental loving service. Matir na Krishna. They will never become Krishna conscious. Also, there are so-called disciples who become submissive to spiritual master most artificially, but they have ulterior motive. Example is Eklavya. He made a nice deity of the Guru, worshipping the deity of the Guru, bowing down to the deity of the Guru, circumambulating the deity of the Guru, telling everyone, my Guru is Dronacharya. But what was his motive? I want to become the best archer, better than Arjun. He was envious of a pure devotee. He was envious of Arjun. Dronacharya said that he will make Arjun the best disciple, best archer. I will show I can become better than Arjun. That's why Dronacharya took away his thumb. These are called artificial disciples. Another example of artificial disciple is Karna. Approached Parshuram, Bhagwan, and said, I am Brahman. He was not a Brahman. He was not a Brahman. He was Kunti Putra. He was Kshatriya or Sut Putra, even worse. How can you lie to your Gurudev? It is like, Vanit Prabhu, it is like somebody lying to the Guru for initiation. 16 माला करते हो? हाँ, but नहीं कर रहे. That's what Karna did. Eligibility was you have to be a Brahman. Karna was no Brahman. He lied to his Guru. Initiation letter पे झूठ बोला. Recommendation letter पे झूठ बोला. That's why Parshuram Bhagwan said, you'll at the most critical time of your life, when you really need this Shastra Vidya, you'll forget it. Arjun was collecting benedictions and blessings from Shankar Bhagwan, from so many great personalities. And Duryodhan and Karna, they were collecting curses. Who can tell me a curse that Duryodhan collected? You will get a free pass in the next exam. Haribol! This whole module, you don't have to take the exam only. I'll give you 50 out of 50. Don't tell Board of Education, otherwise our Bhakti Vaibhava will be. I'll count till three. Three Hare Krishna Mahamantras. Tell me an instance in Mahabharata when Duryodhan collected a curse. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Gita wise. Founder Acharya. Her Grace, Amrit Gaurangi Mataji.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I remember the incident, but I don't know the characters. So when Duryodhan tries to set the forest fire where Pandavas were residing, one of the
Khanda forest?
Yaksha or somebody curses him, and then Arjuna rescues him at that point. There's one
Oh,
curse he
that one.
gets.
Yeah, that was when the Pandavas were living, I think it was in Kamyavan, and Duryodhan came with his whole entourage to mock the Pandavas that you are living in a tough life of austerity, and look, I'm enjoying royal pleasures. At that time, uh, I think Chitrangad or one of the Gandharvas was sent by Indra that this Duryodhan is making fun of my son Arjun and his brothers. Go and teach him a lesson. So the Gandharva came, challenged Duryodhan, and defeated him. Karna was injured. Karna ran away, but Duryodhan tried to run away. But Duryodhan was captured by the Gandharvas and he was tied up like a prisoner. And then this news went to
Thank you, Pandavas.
Pandavas, Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj sent Arjun to rescue Duryodhan, which Arjun did. But there was no cursing at that time.
There's one, I remember one more curse.
Hmm.
So when Gandhari asked him to come naked to apply the balm on his body, and Krishna comes on his way and tells him that you are completely naked and that's not right. So he covers his private parts and goes. Then I think Gandhari curses him that time, or I'm sorry, I don't remember.
No, Gandhari doesn't curse. Well, as far as I remember, Gandhari definitely doesn't curse, but Gandhari gets upset with Krishna. And
Okay.
she says that Krishna has again foiled my plans, our plan.
Okay. Sorry, Prabhu, I failed. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. Now, Satyarva Mataji and Shama Kishori Mataji want to have a go. They think they will get the right answer and they think they will get a waiver on their exam, which they will not. Haribol. Yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, that is Pranam. Prabhuji, this is just a try. Hope so there is no negative marks, right, Prabhuji?
No.
Prabhuji, actually, I had heard that once Maitreya Muni goes to visit Dhritarashtra.
Oh, you got it.
Hare
Got
Krishna.
it. Haribol.
Haribol.
I'm actually
No exam, no, Prabhuji.
no exam, but I know you will still write it.
Hare.
To set an example, Yadyad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarajana. No, but very good, excellent. Excellent. It is hidden in the Mahabharata that when Maitreya Muni comes to actually he want his intention was to broker peace, but Duryodhan very much insulted him, and that time Maitreya Muni cursed Duryodhan that you will die along with all your brothers. But Shama Kishore Mataji, you had also raised your hand. There is one more instance in Mahabharata where Duryodhan collected a curse.
Oh, what happened? Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay. No, Prabhuji, this is, I think I don't know the answer, but I was thinking when Draupadi was being disrobed at Duryodhan's orders, I'm sure she must have cursed him, but I don't know. That's true or not.
You're very close. Something to do with Draupadi, but not the Kurusava.
Not the Kurusava. Not sure, Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Kamala Gopika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Means just as you are saying is close to the Draupadi, then I just remembered. Maybe I may be right, maybe wrong. When during the Yagya time, Rajyagya time. Then Duryodhana entered into and then Draupadi said that, and he couldn't see the water and he slipped. Then she made some comment that time. It was curse or it was that Ande ka beta andha, na?
No, so that is a complete interpolation. Shri Draupadi Devi never said Andhe ka beta andha. That is all B.R. Chopra dialogue. It has nothing to do with
But
Mahabharata
it is
of Srila Vyasa.
okay.
She never said like that. It was Krishna who laughed when Duryodhana fell.
Okay.
And Yudhishthir was saying, shh, you don't laugh. But then because Krishna was laughing, then the other Pandavas and Draupadi, they also laughed. But it was Krishna who laughed first when Duryodhana fell. Because Duryodhana was walking in very proud, arrogant, haughtily, was chastising the Dwarpal, chastising everybody like that. But there is another, let's see, Keshavada Prabhu wants to say something. Keshavada Prabhu, please go ahead.
I am not eligible to be in this class, Prabhuji, but still I am trying. Please forgive me.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I remember a discussion in between Duryodhan when he was laughing out or accusing. He was supporting Shishupal during the Agra Puja, wherein Krishna was present and Krishna was being offered Agra Puja. At that time, when Shishupal was accusing Krishna, Duryodhan was laughing at him. Duryodhan was actually supporting him and laughing at Krishna. So some conversation I remember wherein Draupadi cursed him, stating that, you are not eligible to be over here in the first place, so you will die, something like that. I'm not so sure, but I'm just guessing, Prabhuji. I'm just vaguely remembering something.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I don't remember reading this, Prabhuji. But that doesn't mean didn't happen. But I don't remember reading it in Mahabharata. So in Srila Vyasadev's Mahabharata, original Mahabharata, what Satyarma Mataji said, that is Satya. That Maitreya Muni cursed Duryodhan.
Yeah.
Now in the different commentaries on Mahabharata, there are many commentaries over the years of different Sampradaya Acharyas. They have commented. One commentator has commented that, I will tell you next time. Now let's complete this chapter. No, I'll tell you. It is said that when Durvasa Muni came to Draupadi and the Pandavas in the forest with some people say 10,000 disciples. I have also heard 60,000. But what I remember reading is 10,000 disciples he brought. First he went to Duryodhan. Duryodhan served Durvasa Muni personally and also served his 10,000 disciples through his servants. For several days they stayed. Maybe it is said that I don't remember exactly, but maybe for a month or something they stayed, or several weeks they stayed, and Duryodhan served. And then Durvasa Muni was very pleased. He said, ask for a benediction. And then he said, the only benediction I want is that the mercy you gave me, the opportunity you gave me, the privilege you gave me of serving you, my brother should also get. Bichare, they are living in the forest. They should also get this privilege. So you go to them. But Draupadi has become very weak staying in the forest. So my request is you go after she has eaten. So she will have some energy and strength to cook for you and your 10,000 disciples. That was a wicked plan of Duryodhan. He wanted Yudhishthir and all of them to get cursed. So Durvasa Muni went there. And he specifically went after Draupadi had finished eating. And then you know the whole story, how everything unfolded. He said, I will first go to take a bath in the river Yamuna, and then I will come, and then you feed me and my disciples. And Yudhishthir Maharaj was panicking. And Yudhishthir Maharaj said, Draupadi, you are the dearest devotee of Krishna. Among all of us, all 6 of us, you are dearest to Krishna. He considers you his own sister. Please pray to Krishna. Only Krishna can save us, otherwise we are all going to die. So Draupadi prayed to Krishna, and Krishna immediately ran to the forest from Dwarka. He did not even call for Garudji because he thought Garud is too slow. I have to go. I can go faster than Garud. There's an emergency. He immediately went and he said, Draupadi, I have come running from Dwarka. I'm very hungry. Feed me something. There is nothing. That's the reason I prayed to you and called you. There's nothing to it. No, there must be something. No, there is nothing. Show me the Akshaya Patra. I have already finished eating. I have washed it. Show it to me. And then, there was a small piece of shak, green vegetable there. He ate it and said, Draupadi, this was so nice. I am satisfied. And all the Anantakoti Brahmandas, ultimately the resting places within me, all of them are satisfied. All of them are satisfied. And there Durvasa Muni, he started burping and he said, oh my God, I'll throw up. I'm so full. I'm full till here. And his disciples said, Gurudev, we are also very full. We cannot even do Achaman now. We are so full. What to do? And there Draupadi has cooked a full chapan bhog for us, full meal for us. And Durvasa Muni that time says that this is all the doing of Duryodhan. He knew that this will happen and he sent us here to get us into trouble. Now, my dear disciples, wherever you get a place, just go, because I know that these Pandavas are great devotees. I have experience of that. Once I took on Ambarish Maharaj and I had to run all over the universe. Now, before that, Bhim comes. Bhim is like Sudarshan Chakra. Before Bhim comes, he will be very angry if we have made his wife cook such a big feast unnecessarily. So, before Bhim comes, let's just run away. And this Duryodhan, he did very wrong by making us come here and putting us in this predicament, putting us in danger. Therefore, I curse that Duryodhan who sent us here to be beaten up by Bhim. I curse this Duryodhan, that may he and all his brothers perish at the hands of Duryodhan. And that's exactly what happened. All the brothers, they died at the hand of Duryodhan. Because it is said that Mahabharata, original Mahabharata says Nakul was sent by Yudhishthir. Go Nakul, call Durvasa Muni, tell him everything is ready. And but some editions also say that Nakul and Bhim were sent. So seeing Bhim, Durvasa Muni got very scared. And he said that because of Duryodhan we have come into trouble now. What if Bhim attacks us? May Duryodhan and all his brothers die at the hands of Bhim. Like that. So basically the villainous people, they go on collecting curses. They go on collecting ill will, whereas the devotees, they live their life always collecting benedictions, always connecting Ashirvad. So that is our life. We have to please the great devotees and collect their blessings. In Prabhupada Lilamrita, it is mentioned when Srila Prabhupada's father, Shri Gaur Mohan De, he would invite sadhus at home, serve them nicely, feed them nicely. And when they would be leaving with a very happy mind, they would be leaving, Gaur Mohan De would just pray to them that please bless my son Abhay Charan, that he becomes a pure devotee of Srimati Radharani. Hari Bol. So Srila Prabhupada was collecting all these blessings right from his childhood. Text 41. Shraddha dhanaya bhaktaya vinitaya nasuyave bhuteshu krita maitraya shushruषा bhirataya cha. Instruction should be given. So who should we preach to? Don't preach to this person. Don't envy us. Don't preach to non-devotees. Don't preach to people whose senses are uncontrolled. Don't preach to the unfaithful, duplicitous disciples. So who should we preach to? Instruction should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. Very important qualities are mentioned here. Shraddha Dhanaya, faithful. Bhaktaya, he should be a devotee. Vinitaya, very important, respectful. Anasuyave, non-envious. Maitraya, he is friendly. Shushrusha, he performs faithful service. Such a person is qualified to receive spiritual instructions. Very nice verse. 42. Bahirjata viragaya shantachittaya diyatam nirmatsaraya shuchaye yasyaham preyasam priyaha. This instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed, and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. Detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. Things that can be used in Krishna consciousness, we don't have to give up. That is Yukta Vairagya, to use everything for Krishna. But there are some things which have no place in Krishna consciousness, like envy. There is no place for envy. So those things should be given up. Gambling. There is no place for gambling. Once one devotee asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, can we invest some Lakshmi in a lottery ticket? Because if we win the lottery, then we can just build temples. And Prabhupada said, no, that is gambling. We don't do that. Once Bhagwan Prabhu, in his Prabhupada memories on YouTube, it's there. He tells, he was the temple president of Detroit. Some devotees came up with the idea that we should invest in stock market, because in those days the stock market was doing very good. So let's invest in stock market so we can make a lot of money and use it for our Krishna conscious purpose. Again, Srila Prabhupada said, no, don't do that. Some devotees had even invested in gold as an investment, that gold will appreciate and we will make money. This was in Switzerland. And Srila Prabhupada said, immediately remove that money. No, no doing all these things. If you have money, use it to print books, use it to build temple, use it to distribute prasadam. Don't save it. Don't hoard money like this. Spend it. Krishna is giving money to spend for him. Spend the money for Krishna. Purport. In the beginning, no one can be elevated to highest stage of devotional service. Now see, Prabhupada is explaining why we should not preach, what it actually means. Here, bhakta means one who does not accept. Beg your pardon. Here, bhakta means one who does not hesitate to accept the reformatory process for becoming a bhakta. In order to become a bhakta, devotee of Lord Krishna, one has to accept a spiritual master and inquire from him about how to progress in devotional service. To serve a devotee, to chant the holy name according to the certain counting method, Sankhya Purvak, to worship the deity, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from realized person, jao tumhe Bhagavat padho Vaishnavera sthane, and to live in a sacred place. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathuravasa Shri Murtira Shraddha Sevan. These are where devotional service is. To live in a sacred place where devotional service is not disturbed, where devotional service is propagated, are the first out of 64 devotional activities. Srila Rupa Goswami mentions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. One has to accept these 5 chief activities: Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathuravas, Shri Murtira, Shraddhaya Sevan. Deity worship, staying in a holy place, or staying where Tulsi Maharani is there. Then associating with devotees, chanting the holy name, and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. In the second paragraph in the middle, Srila Prabhupada says the word Bahirjata Viragaya means a person who has developed detachment from external and internal material propensities. Bahirjata Viragaya means to develop detachment from things that are not connected to Krishna, material things. Not only is he detached from activities which are not connected to Krishna consciousness, but he should be internally averse to the material way of life. Even internally, we should be averse to material way of life. Someone invites us for some karmi movie, we should not have any taste. Come, let's eat in a restaurant. We should not be interested. The word diyatam means that knowledge of Krishna consciousness should be offered by the spiritual master. Diyatam, knowledge is given. The spiritual master must not accept. Now, this is very important. I urge all of you to pay complete attention. I am reading the third paragraph of the purport to verse 42. The spiritual master must not accept a disciple who is not qualified. He should not be professional and should not accept disciples for monetary gains. The bona fide spiritual master must see the bona fide qualities of a person whom he is going to initiate. An unworthy person should not be initiated. The spiritual master should train his disciple in such a way so that in the future only the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be the dearmost goal of his life. Hare Krishna. Text 43, last verse for today. Ya idam shrunuyad amba shraddhaya purushas sakrit yova bhidatte machittah Sayeti padavim chame. Bhagwan Shri Kapil Dev says, "O my dear mother Srimati Devahuti Devi, anyone who once meditates upon me with faith, shraddhaya, and affection, who hears and chants about me surely goes back home, back to Godhead. Eti padavim cha me. He will attain my abode. Machitta, fix mind on me. Shraddhaya, with faith. Shrunuyat, one who hears about me. One who chants, hears, remembers, meditates upon Krishna will attain Krishna. Mad bhakta yanti mamapi, Lord Krishna says. This is a very beautiful section of Srimad Bhagavatam where we are getting nectar instructions from the Supreme Authority, Bhagwan Sri Kapil Dev. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 32nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. Krishna willing, day after tomorrow, we will begin the final chapter of this module, chapter 33. And it has 37 verses. So we should be able to finish it in 3 classes. So by the end of next week, Thursday, I'm going to, I see. Next Thursday, we may not have a class. So like that. But anyway, we'll finish and then we will have our exam. So I hope all of you are working on the shloka and open book exam. Hare Krishna. So what Bhagwan Kapil Dev is saying is that those who are envious, those who are not devotees, atheistic, agnostic people, we should not impart these divine instructions to them. Why? Because they will not accept. They are not willing to accept it. So for them, we have to pray and wait for a time when they will become somewhat receptive. We can do other things like giving them Krishna Prasad or somehow inviting them for satsang or kirtan, Nam Sankirtan. So some sukriti they will get, or inviting them for festivals like Janmashtami, where they will get darshan of the Lord, where they may just clap their hands and sing few mahamantras in the kirtan, or inviting them for Rath Yatra. Like that we can build up their sukriti, and when they are ready in terms of willingness to hear the message, then they can be preached to. For now, we should focus most of our attention on people who are favorably disposed to Krishna consciousness and who are willing to hear. We should not misunderstand these last few verses where Bhagwan Kapil Dev said, don't give this instruction, don't give this message to such and such people, and give these instructions to such and such devotees. We should not misunderstand it. Bhagwan Kapil Dev is not saying don't preach, but we have to use, Bhagwan Kapil Dev is saying that we have to use our discrimination, what we preach, how we preach, and who we preach to. We can preach. Some level of preaching can be done to everyone, but we cannot give these confidential instructions of the glory of Bhagwan, the glory of Shri Vigraha, glory of the holy name, the purity of bhakti to people who are not ready for it. Everything requires patrata. Everything requires eligibility. Even for this Bhakti Vaibhava course, there is some eligibility that you should be chanting 16 rounds. You should have done Bhakti Shastri. Only then you can properly understand the concepts in Bhakti Vaibhava. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. For Bhakti Shastri, there is eligibility. You should be chanting 16 rounds because it creates a fertile heart where spiritual knowledge can be received. So everything requires qualification. You want to go to college, a qualification is required that you should have passed your high school curriculum. Similarly, to hear these instructions on bhakti from Srimad Bhagavatam, a person should be a theist. A person should have faith, Shraddha. So that is what Bhagwan Kapil Dev is saying. He's not saying that don't preach. We have to know what to preach, how much to preach to whom, and in what way. There are levels of preaching depending on the audience. So that is the message here. And then we'll start day after tomorrow, chapter 33 entitled Activities of Shri Kapil Dev. Narendra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Yes, Shama Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you very much for this wonderful class. So, Prabhuji, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think Lord Chaitanya Dev says that Jari Dekho Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh.
Yes.
When I heard that, I thought, okay, we have to tell this to everyone. But now we are understanding that you have to qualify your message. It depends on, the audience, and you can't really speak the highest truth to everyone. So it may be also hard to really understand your audience, or what their level is. So how should we limit how much we are sharing, or should we not talk about Krishna when we are speaking to newcomers? Or
So I will give you one example. Today one devotee called me, messaged me, and said that this devotee works in a company in America, USA, and this devotee has a boss. And today the devotee had a face-to-face with the boss. I think every so many days you have a one-on-one with the boss where you discuss different things. So during that, they were talking quite candidly, and they were talking about family, they were talking about bringing up kids, and the different needs of the kids, the stress that the kids experience in America. And this boss is a American native. he's American, not an immigrant like many of us. So this devotee was speaking to the boss, and in the course of their discussion, the boss said that yes, it is quite stressful for me also. It is quite anxiety provoking for me also. Many times I am in such a rush in the morning to get to the office. So many things have to be done. And my kids also experience stress, seeing me in stress. So all those things are being discussed. And then this devotee told the boss about our morning program, that we chant as ISKCON devotees, we chant Hare Krishna, do mantra meditation for 2 hours in the morning. And that really gives a lot of peace, inner strength, clarity of thought, and discipline and willpower to do the right things. So the boss was quite interested and told this devotee that, please tell me more about this. I want to know more about your process. Now, this boss is a practicing Christian, a faithful Christian. So this devotee messaged me how I should respond to my boss. How much should I tell my boss? So my reply was that you tell your boss about mantra meditation and let your boss chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra as a mantra, Manatrayati iti mantra, and start with chanting one round in the morning after taking a shower, and let him do it for some days, a few days, few weeks, and see how he feels. So now he is directly chanting the name of God under the name of mantra meditation. So it's a directly spiritual activity. It's one of the 5 limbs that we read about just now. Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan. And also give him a book that is meant for people from all walks of life, different faiths. Give a book like that. And I recommended one particular book, that this book is written by an American person who was born and raised in America. So this American boss will be able to relate to many of the things mentioned in this book, even historical things mentioned in this book, like the civil rights movement, because the boss may be familiar with that generation. And different faiths are described. The good things of different faith are described, and a gradual spiritual progressive evolution is described in this book, which will be very useful for your boss. So that is what I mentioned. Give this particular book and talk about mantra meditation and ask your boss to chant one mantra of one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the morning. So if you see, this person, the boss, is getting direct Krishna consciousness, but in a way that is not dogmatic, in a way that is not comparative to his faith, in a way that he will not feel cornered. We are not talking about you give up meat eating, you follow the four regulative principles, you come to the temple, you join the Bhakti Vriksha. That would be too much for this person. So each case is individual. It takes some spiritual maturity to understand how much to give to whom. And when we are not sure, we can always ask someone who we have faith in. And gradually, as we make progress, then Krishna inspires in the heart. Whatever we speak, Shama Kishori Mataji, when we are meeting somebody and we have to speak something adhyatmic, something spiritual, it should pass through three filters. It should be based on Shastra, either Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever we are going to speak, it should be based on these two scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Sri Bhagavad Mahapuran. Number two, it should be authorized by our acharyas. It should be authorized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rup Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Jiv Goswami, Sri Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sari Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. All these acharyas have given so many commentaries, tikas they have written, and they have given lectures and they have taught us. We should have heard it from them. It should be in line with their teachings. Second filter. And third filter is it should pass the filter of your heart. When a sadhak is following four regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, doing Vaishnava Seva, and is taken shelter of Guru, then even the heart is a praman. It should sit right in your heart. It should come from your heart. Because so many times a question is asked. Not every question we have prepared. So how do we speak? We speak what inspiration is coming in the heart, and that is ultimately being given by Guru and Krishna. So it should pass the filter of the heart. It should pass the filter of the sadhus and acharyas and Guru, and it should pass the filter of Shastra. Shastra first, sadhus and Gurus next, and our heart last. And then when you're preaching, you're doing outreach, you go through these three filters, then whatever comes out will be beneficial to the person. Once, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, was asked by a very senior brahmachari, who is a worldwide preacher, that Maharaj, I feel that the audience are not able to relate to my talk. My talks are too analytical. So I feel that many devotees are not able to connect with me. How do I overcome this? And Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, you have to pray to Srila Prabhupada, you have to pray to Krishna, you have to pray to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Maharaj said, by their mercy, I may not be very analytical, I may not be very intelligent, I may not be very intellectual, I don't know how to make PowerPoints, I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know Bengali, but somehow by praying to Srila Prabhupada, I come to know what my audience need to hear. Because this devotee was saying that Maharaj, you may speak to the bankers of HSBC Bank, you may be speaking to Facebook, Google, or you may be speaking to the brahmacharis in GV, who are all Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhakti Vedantas. Or you may be speaking to 10,000 people in the yatras. No matter what the or brand new boys, brahmacharis in school going, college going kids in Prerana lecture or Chetana class. No matter what the audience is, you always connect with your audience. So that's when Maharaj, whereas I'm not able to connect with my audience. So that's when Maharaj said that before every class, I pray to Srila Prabhupada that Srila Prabhupada, please speak through me. So if we pray, then we will know how much to preach and what to preach to who. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you
As
for
far
the
as possible, we should try to give them direct Krishna consciousness. Like this mantra meditation. So they are chanting Harinam. We are not telling them that you get 8 hours of sleep and you do this meditation on a flame, or cultivate friendship, be nice to people, make more friends. We don't do all those feel-good things. Those are useless. Once I was telling Gaurang Prabhu that there is one devotee who talks about so many things but not about Krishna. So if somebody follows him for 2-3 years, listens to every video of his, every lecture of his, and then dies, in the eyes of Jaiva Dharma, he has not gained anything because he will not hear the name of Krishna even once. He will not hear a shloka from the Shastra even once. It will be all shairi and jokes and feel good stuff. So, what has the person gained by hearing this devotee for 2 years, 3 years? So, Gaurang Prabhu laughed and said, Tu jaake bata usko. But he agreed with me that yes, he's Gaurav. That's why in all my yoga stories, there are 4-5 minute videos, but I always quote one verse from the Shastra. Otherwise, what are you giving the audience? That's why I like Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. He's always very Shastric, very direct. Even if the topic is something relatable to non-devotees, in his class it will always be stories from Srimad Bhagavatam or Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that's what I like. So we should try to give directly. Somebody is completely not in touch with ISKCON, just say mantra meditation, chant this mantra. Now there are some studies also being done, and they're already published how chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra can have positive effects on physical health and mental health. Personally, I don't promote those because medical research is a double-edged sword. Tomorrow another study will come and that will prove that chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra has absolutely no benefits on physical health and mental health. That's why I don't give too much weightage to these studies because Tarko Pratishtha, Shrutoyo Vibhinna. Similarly, medical research is Vibhinna. Many types of trials, many types of studies with completely contrary results. There are studies that show having diet drinks will help you lose weight. There are studies that show having artificial sweetener drinks has no effect on your weight. And there are studies that show that having diet sodas and diet drinks actually make you gain weight. And I believe the third as a physician, that they actually make you gain weight because they change the microbiota in your gut and make you absorb more calories later on. This aspartame and artificial sweeteners, sucralose and others. But the bottom line is medical research will say so many different things. Similarly, medical research about Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, I'm afraid that it may prove as a double-edged sword. So better to do direct Krishna conscious preaching and somehow under mantra meditation, telling them that you will feel at ease, you will feel peaceful, less anxiety, less stress. You chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra as a mantra meditation tool in a non-sectarian way. So they don't realize, but they are chanting Harinam. Like Srila Jayapata Goswami Maharaj told me, Ni Mai, Ni Tai, Hari, 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 like that. That is direct Krishna consciousness, and it can be given to anybody. They don't know that it is anything spiritual. They feel it's just a exercise. So that's what I believe in. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We had also discussed once that, assigning all these benefits to the Mahamantra is also Nam Aprad, one of the 10 offenses. So we should not be doing that. So thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Satyaramaji, final last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for a wonderful session.
You have to take the exam.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is, we see that so many devotees go for book distribution and they somehow tell the other people to buy the Bhagavatam sets and Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, even for those who are not connected to ISKCON or not chanting even one round, and they somehow convince them and they buy. So if they will not know the value of Bhagavatam, and if the philosophy is like this, not to be mentioned to envious people and all that, is it wrong to directly distribute blindly like that?
It is not wrong, and I'll tell you why. The biggest reason is it is not wrong because Srila Prabhupada authorized it. And that is the biggest praman for us. It is sadhu sammat kriya. It is activity that is authorized by Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, so it cannot be wrong. Prabhupada authorized us to distribute even Krishna book, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything. So distributing any of Srila Prabhupada's books, selling it, is a spiritual activity. It's a bona fide activity. It cannot be wrong. They will get some benefit. Maybe their children will read. And there are so many instances where the book has acted like a time bomb. Somebody bought it, did not read, but somebody else bought it and became a devotee. Somebody else read it in the house and became a devotee. So there are many such stories. So it should be done. Secondly, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, when he was asked this question, he said that actually we should not give it to someone who has not paid the price, who is not interested, who is not austere. And Srila Jayadvaita Maharaj said, giving money is the biggest austerity in Kali Yuga. And these people are giving money. You are selling them, you're not giving them for free. You're selling the Bhagavatam set, you're selling the. So when they give you money, 1,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, whatever the cost is of the set, that is their austerity. And that makes them eligible to receive because they're giving their, parting with their money, hard-earned money. So like that is one way of looking at it. And also one thing which I heard from my Guru Maharaj, I have not heard it from anybody else, but I've heard it from Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, is that book distribution is not just going and distributing books on the street. What we are doing now is also book distribution. You're distributing the knowledge of the book. So giving class, doing prachar is also book distribution. Book distribution is not just selling books. That is one way of distributing books. Another way of distributing book is to teach. So how we started on Friday, where we collected some contacts through book distribution only primarily, and then we invited them, and every Friday we are discussing Bhagavad Gita. So we are distributing Bhagavad Gita. We are distributing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And then when they like it, all the devotees buy it. They buy the Bhagavad Gita. They'll go to the temple and they'll buy it or something like that. So book distribution is of two types. Physically selling the book, and that is glorious. And number two is inviting people, giving them nice paneer ki sabji and rasgullas and puri and pulao, and teaching them Bhagavad Gita, teaching them Srimad Bhagavatam, distributing the knowledge of the Shastra to them. That is also book distribution. Hari Bol, through Hari Katha. Okay? So we should do both. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for tolerating me. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Radhe Radhe Prabhuji.
Radhe
Hare
Radhe
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.